Imagine starting your day off with a brand new episode of Attack on Titan, a brand new episode of Re:Zero, a brand new episode of Mushoku Tensei, Dr. Stone, Horimiya, and all these other anime. Remember in fall 2006 where Code Geass and Death Note both released at the same time? Remember in spring of 2017 when the second season of My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan both released 8 days before Ero Manga Sensei? What do Noragami and Nisekoi have in common despite not having a third season in over 15 years? Every season, we got a bunch of different anime to enjoy throughout a plethora of different genres: winter, spring, summer, and fall. For 20 years, each time of year has some sort of anime that completely blows our heads away. But which anime season is considered as the greatest season of all time? Which season and year had the greatest lineup in all of anime? Subscribe, like, support small creators like me, and fuck Jack. But before we go on, I have looked through 2 decades of seasonal anime. And after painstakingly looking at every season in anime in my anime list laggy website, I have chosen 10 different seasons who in my opinion can be categorized as the greatest season of all time. I have 10 of these in no particular order, but some do stand out above the rest. But with that being said, like the great old Jack Films once said, let's just jump into it. Starting off with spring 2011 with its 5 biggest headliners: Steins Gate, Gintama, Nichijou, Anohana, and Blue Exorcist. Now just by looking at this lineup, you wouldn't think of it as, categorized as one of the top 10 greatest anime seasons of all time. While Steins Gate and Gintama are great, the rest of it is not something, you think about when it comes to being the great. But the story of spring 2011 isn't about blockbuster success, it's about nurturing future classic. Anime such as Nichijou, My Ordinary Life by Kyoto Animation, which basically was regular show before regular show. It's about 3 high school friends going about their ordinary lives, which you guess it, are all far from ordinary. One of the most viral scenes in this anime is about their principal German suplexing a deer and her getting punished for trying to explain it to everyone else. And this is but a few what makes Nichijou such a classic towards the comedy genre. Anohana is basically a classic at this point. Its whole story is basically the plot of Smosh Ghostmate or Just Like Heaven, but this time it poses the question of what will you do when your closest friend dies and appears right in front of you. And speaking of supernatural, Deadman Wonderland was also released around the same time, a rarely talked about show that had an amazing first episode that grabbed everyone by the throat. And for action fans, of course, you have Gintama and Blue Exorcist. So all in all, this season had it all. But what makes this season stand out above the rest is Steins Gate. By far one of the greatest anime of all time, one of the greatest sci-fi series of all time, and one of the greatest time travel anime in existence. And honestly, if the Anime Awards existed back then, Steins Gate would have definitely won the award. While spring 2011 brought us a lot of classic, it might not be as stacked as all the other seasons later on in this video. But the amount of classic it provided throughout different genres makes it a staple on this list. Next up, we have spring 2021 with its 5 main headliners: Tokyo Revengers, To Your Eternity, 86, Odd Taxi, and Fruits Basket Final Season. And honestly, this might be one of the weirdest season in this list, because going into spring 2021, nobody thought it was going to be good after the incredible year that was winter 2021. And especially just by seeing the lineup, the only 2 sequels people were excited for was Fruits Basket last season and of course My Hero Academia, which was in its 5th season. But the main story of this one is the surprising turn of events of new IPs beating the already established franchises. In the span of 2 days, Tokyo Revengers, 86, To Your Eternity all released their first episode at the same time, and everybody just exploded. 86 is basically Code Geass with its mech and war, mixed with Violet Evergarden's pacing and beautiful characters. To Your Eternity shocked everyone with its first episode, landing possibly in the top 10 greatest first episodes of all time. And the most craziest part of all these is that these animes weren't sequels. They were new IP. When Odd Taxi was first announced, nobody thought a thing about it. But somehow, Odd Taxi managed to gain itself an Anime of the Year nominee. An anime that seems grounded at first with its animal characters and seemingly being about the life of a taxi driver, somehow all of a sudden turned into one of the greatest mystery anime the world has ever seen. We all thought spring 2021 2021 was gonna be our big break, after, spoiler alert, winter 2021, but that could not be far from the truth. Or is that the right term? Far from truth? I don't know English. Combatants will be dispatched, which was written by the same author as Konosuba, killing slime for 300 years, which begs the question, what if Goblin Slayer was a female that hates slime? And ironically enough, airing at the same time, Chibi Slime. So surprisingly, an anime season people thought it would flop ended up being one of the greatest season of anime of all time. And that is Spring 2021. Next up, we have Spring 2024 with its 5 main headliners. Demon Slayer Season 5, My Hero Academia Season 7, Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Core 2, Konosuba Season 3, and Slime Season 3. While Spring 2021 had exciting new IPs, Spring 2024 came in and proved to everybody that big IPs still carry the anime franchises. Especially when it came to the 3 most popular isekais of all time. With its comedy of Konosuba, with its fantasy elements with Slime and Mushoku Tensei. And just imagine a season where Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia released at the same time. Think of the fan bases that were battling during this time. The story of this season is that New Gen is here to stay, no matter how many years they're removed from another season. But there was one original anime that was sandwiched between these juggernauts, which was Kaiju number 8. Kaiju number 8 not only became a very successful anime, but it also competed with some of the big IPs that was airing around the same time. I think one thing that made Kaiju number 8 so special is that the main character in this series is older than the typical shounen main character. Being a 30-year-old having to work a job that he doesn't enjoy, failing to achieve his dreams that he once had as a kid, made a lot of people who are a lot older to him relate to him a lot more than any other anime that came out. Also, him turning into a badass giant monster also helps. But this season also had many originals that targets a different genre than the rest. Windbreaker targeted shonen fans. Yusakura Family targeted comedy, and Girls Band Cry targeted music fans. Not to mention Oblivion Battery, which is an anime about baseball, and Tonbo, which is an anime about golf, and it's good? But ladies and gentlemen, that is Spring 2021. Next up, we have Spring 2016 with its 5 main headliners: Re:Zero, My Hero Academia, JoJo Part 4, Bungo Stray Dogs, and Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Now, not to shit on the later half that I just said, Bungo Stray Dogs and Cabaneri, I'm sure, they're pretty good anime, but JoJo Part 3, Re:Zero, My Hero Academia, these 3 basically defined the entire decade. My Hero Academia, which was a cultural phenomenon, Re:Zero giving depression to all of their fans, and not to mention JoJo with its many fans riding the waves of Part 3, adding stans. These 3 anime not only defined their season, but defined an entire generation. Emilia versus Rem debates are still happening. Why? Because of Re:Zero's impact. My Hero Academia still run TikTok and Twitter even after My Hero's ending. There were 8 nominees that were nominated for Anime of the Year, and 3 of them came from this season. And they are Re:Zero, My Hero Academia, and Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, all being nominated for Anime of the Year, which I still think Re:Zero should have won over Yuri on Ice, but that's just me. Now, the rest of the anime, not really something you should consider as the greatest. I'm Sakamoto targeted comedy fans, Kiss Ivor with sci-fi, Never a Girl Online, a premise about an online group meeting in real life only to find out that the girl was actually real and not a Chris Hansen setup. So again, these anime are not slashes, but compared to the big 5, big 3, especially the big 2, it's not even close. Next up, we have Spring 2014 with its 5 biggest headliners: No Game No Life, Haikyuu, JoJo Part 3, Fairytale 2014, and Irregular Magic High School. And if I were to summarize this season in one word, it would be fandom with a big F. This is literally the start of massive fan bases in our community. And just by looking at this lineup, you can feel the impact it had even now. Let's start with the easiest one, Haikyuu. I do not watch volleyball, yet somehow this anime convinced millions of people that volleyball, especially male volleyball, was the coolest sport on earth. Never in my life did I say volleyball was cool. Heck, I thought volleyball was gay. But now, after seeing Haikyuu, I think I want to play volleyball. Suddenly, everyone was spiking kicking basketball, football, actual balls all around the court. And it's by far the greatest influential sports anime to date. It's literally the face of an entire genre. Then we have JoJo Part 3. Part 3 still lives in fame for introducing stands and the many memes it had spreading in the community. Without Part 3, half the internet memes actually disappear. Without Part 3, people would call posting like this as gay. And then there's No Game, No Life. A series so popular and beloved that people spent over 12 years waiting for a second season that's so obviously not going to come. And then we have Fairy Tail 2014. Love it or hate it, fight it on in the comments below. Fairy Tail has still remained relevant for years, and it's still one of the most underrated anime that people hate on for no reason. Even a show like Irregular Magic High School was influential since it's basically the only anime that purposely shows you real incest and not those fake ones you see on TV. Each of these IPs paved the way to massive fandoms in the community, and that is what makes Spring 2014 so special. Next up, we have Fall 2018 with its 5 main headliners: Bunny Girl Senpai, Slime, Goblin Slayer, JoJo Part 5, and SAO Season 3. And the story for this season was genre variety. This season basically had a top representative for each of the top genres in the anime community. Bunny Girl Senpai managed to trick everyone with its title. The people who came for bunny girls in a suit stayed for Mai Sakurajima. Slime basically influenced an entire genre and started the whole reincarnated as a monster slop we have been getting for the past years. Goblin Slayer became Twitter's #1 enemy purely because of its first episode breaking the internet. You either love it for the shock value or you hated it because you were immature. Everybody and their mamas was talking about Goblin Slayer. JoJo Part 5 gave us as many memes as Part 3, and that's saying a lot because JoJo Part 3 had a lot of memes. And by far one of my favorite trends in this season is the most hated animes. Fairy Tail, Tokyo Ghoul, and SAO, by far the 3 most hated anime in the community, both had a show in this season. For Fairy Tail and Tokyo Ghoul, it was gonna be their last entry in the franchise for a long time. For SAO, it still proved to many doubters of the series that SAO is still peak after Aincard. And funny enough, almost none of these got a nod for Anime of the Year except for Zombieland Saga, a series about girls who died and turned into monsters, trying to make it in their second life as idols for their manager. And honestly, such a peak concept. Next up, we have Winter 2019 with its 5 main headliners: Love is War, Promise Neverland, Shield Hero, Dororo, and Quintessential Quintuplets. And this season is by far one of my favorite seasons to date. This season went stupidly hard for original IPs. Love is War took the oldest rom-com premise and turned it into psychological warfare, only enhanced by the anime's direction and voice acting, who's in the conversation for being the best comedic anime of all time. Promise Neverland had the stress, mystery, and suspense that made everyone bite their nails for the next episode. Every episode ended with another question, one after another, and you couldn't stop watching. Quintessential Quintuplets started a full civil war in the fandom. Everybody chose a girl and then fought wars over which one is the best. Miku, Yotsuba, Nino, and Itsuki. And like always, there are no Ichika fans. Shield Hero took the classic Isekai hero setup and turned it around and asked the question, what if we made the hero's life miserable from the very start? We even got Dororo getting a beautiful modern remake of the 1960s classic with a modern spin towards it. And of course, who could forget the global phenomenon that was domestic girlfriend? From one-time flings to part-time siblings. This was the talk of the town for the great anime discourse for many years. While this season did have sequels like Kakegurui, Data Live, and Mob Psycho 2, which was nominated for Anime of the Year, this season was so dominated by originals that it proved that a season can still pop without massive IP sequels. Now next up, we have Fall 2022 with its 5 main headliners: Chainsaw Man, Bocce, Blue Lock, Spy X Family, and Bleach Final Season. And the story of this one is that anime was embracing a full blockbuster mode. Chainsaw Man finally lived up to the years of manga hype fans couldn't stop talking about. It was the same hype range with JJK and Demon Slayer, and it suddenly became a global phenomenon. And of course, Bocce the Rock gave the introverts their perfect pink-haired queen, and it also became a global phenomenon. Every profile picture you've seen is somehow related to Bocce, and more Bocce. Blue Lock dropped during the World Cup year and was incorporated to the Japanese national team's very own being, ego, and confidence. series. Blue Lock even inspired the Japanese Football Association to actually adapt the show's philosophy by making a training program inspired by Blue Lock's idea. And of course, who could forget Bleach coming back after 10 years, finally heading to its final season, eventually marking the end of one of the big three's dominating runs. My Hero Academia Season 6 came back, getting a redemption arc after Season 5's weak start. Mob Psycho Season 3 is still comedic and unhinged in every way. Eminence of Shadow also came out. Osaki Season 2, Reincarnated as a Sword, To Your Eternity Season 2, and More Than a Married Couple all came out during this time. And in any other season, these shows will be in top of the charts. But because of the dominating impact of those top 5, it just outshadows the rest. And next up, we have Fall 2023, with its 5 main headliners: Frieren, Apothecary Diaries, Spy X Family Season 2, Shield Hero Season 3, and Dr. Stone's Season 3. Frieren and Apothecary Diaries airing at the same time should be illegal. People were already losing their minds to how many sequels we got in this season: Goblin Slayer, Tokyo Revengers, and Eminence of a Shadow. And you add the fact that Shangri-La Frontiers is also here as well as Undead Unluck and 100 Girlfriends, which is a Gunner anime. This would probably be an all-time season even without Frieren and Mao Mao. But you're telling me they release at the same time? Am I hearing that correct? At the same time? Hands down, Frieren is one of the greatest anime ever made. Full stop. I'm not even gonna say but or anything like that. The way it handles time and regret and loss all at the same time is something I never expected to hit me in a way I didn't expect. When I first watched it in high school, I immediately dropped it. I don't think the anime was for me. But now as a young adult in college, during a very tough time in my life, the music and storytelling just hit me in some sort of way that makes Frieren so special. And Apothecary Diaries does the same thing as well. It gave us Mao Mao, one of the most entertaining protagonists in years, watching her solve mysteries while having zero interest in anybody's nonsense. And then we were followed up with sequels galore. Goblin Slayer 2 came out after 5 years. Spy X Family was still riding the high from its last season. Dr. Stone, Shield Hero, Tokyo Revengers were entering some of their best arcs in the series. And again, Shangri-La Frontier was so good, nobody even talks about it. And lastly, we have Winter 2021 with over 10 different headliners: Attack on Titan Final Season, Mushoku Tensei, Horimiya, ReZero Season 2, Slime Season 2, Dr. Stone Season 2, Promise Neverland Season 2, Wonder Egg Priority, Quintessential Quintuplets Season 2, and Beastars Season 2. And that's only to name a few. This season had over 10 main headliners and even more deeper cuts. Thanks to COVID-19, a bunch of delays happened all around the same time. So anime that were gonna be releasing, early 2020 or mid 2020s got pushed back to winter 2021. And honestly, it was the perfect storm of originals and sequels which somehow brought life back to, many franchises and brought life to new franchises. Isekai fans ate with Slime, ReZero, and Mushoku Tensei, all staples in Isekai community, all airing around the same time. Mushoku Tensei's direction and animation was already on pace for it to win Anime of the Year. Romance and harem fans got quintessential quintuplets, continuing the civil war between the community on who is the best girl. We also got Horimiya, which did something special with the oversaturated romance genre and tried to take the boy meets girls formula and actually make the situation feel real, while still uplifting every side character around them. And some of the biggest controversy wasn't about Redo Healer, which is an isekai about a healer getting revenge on a girl who tortured him for a year, but the biggest controversy of this season was actually the absolute flop fest that was Promise Neverland Season 2, who fumbled the bag by not adapting the manga and giving itself a poorly animated anime original ending, which is still unheard of. For drama fans, Wonder Egg Priority brought out the raw and emotional side that grabbed many fans by the throat. A 14-year-old girl mourning the suicide death of her best friend, where she enters a dream world to try to resurrect her. We got Cells at Work Season 2 and its spin-off series Cells at Work Black, which answers the question, what if Cells at Work happened to an unhealthy adult? Log Horizon finally got its long-awaited Season 3 after a 7-year hiatus, something I wish Nisekoi would get met after 11 years. We even got one of my favorite isekais that nobody even talks about. So I'm a Spider, So What? It's one of the most underrated isekais of all time because it conveys two timelines of two separate entities of good and bad. When the whole class is suddenly transported to another world in all different time periods, one is our main character who got turned into a spider, following her adventures to gain XP, and the other is a group of heroes, one who got turned into the Prince of the Kingdom, trying to stop the evil of this world by stopping a demon army controlled by one familiar looking spider. And of course, how can we forget Attack on Titan final season, which is its own separate global phenomenon. This season didn't just have bangers, it had stack lineup after stack lineup that we're probably never gonna see ever again. Out of all the season we talked about today, this stands out the most if we're trying to find the greatest season anime of all time. Winter 2021 is definitely that season. But here's the real question I want you guys to think about. Do you think any other season will ever top Winter 2021? I think the only way to beat Winter 2021 if it's like Nisekoi, No Game No Life season 2, everybody like goes crazy, Demon Slayer final season, Chainsaw Man final season, Steel Ball Run maybe? Who knows? ReZero, and then something on the side, maybe like Tokyo Ghoul remake, Promised Neverland remake, maybe, you know, Kagurabachi season 3, something like that. But what do you guys think? Drop it down in the comments below. Subscribe, like, support some creators like me. I love you guys. Really want to say back.